She says that she can't quite remember. She feels like she's doing much more in dream time, but she doesn't like. They're not significant, the dreams, when she remembers them. What can you share with her on what she's actually doing in dream time?
During dream time, we are very, very busy.
Mm-hmm.
We understand she would like to have memory recollection of her activities during dream time, but it is not time for that yet, and won't be for some time. Just understand your human conscious, your planetary mind needs its break. And if you could remember everything you did at night during your higher conscious, of which your higher conscious is aware, if your planetary mind were conscious of all that occurs, it would be a distraction. It would also be too much of a taxation. Your planetary mind needs its rest. And so we give you what she calls cover dreams. They really have no specific depth of meaning, just to keep your planetary mind occupied at dream time. On occasion, we bring forth messages and dreams, and she knows this. Just accept, surrender and accept this, because the time will come when more of a bleed through will occur, but your mission on Earth is to be human. So if you have all your memories of your dreamtime activities, you would have a very hard time coming back and being human. Okay.
Yes, I understand. So can you explain to me, as far as dream time, I've been shown in a certain way. So what happens, say we go to sleep, and what happens to our spirit, our consciousness?
So our human consciousness?
Yes, our human consciousness. What happens to it as we're sleeping?
So the human consciousness is given like a cocoon, a bubble of protection to be in, because it's too much for it to be aware of everything that's happening on Earth at this time, that the higher consciousness is aware of. What she doesn't understand is that the merge between all dimensions and consciousness has taken place, so that without the shadow and the veil between her 3D consciousness and her higher self, she would have full awareness of everything. This is what ascension is about. And because her own personal ascension must be timed with what is taking place on Earth, she has to continue to wear the veil between her human consciousness and her higher consciousness. So if we remove that veil, she would be walking around as a fully ascended human being. It's not time for that yet. And so she wears the veil. And so we veil her consciousness during dream time, because her higher consciousness is all one. It's already one with it is me. At night, there's no veil. And she knows everything. and it's not time to know everything yet. Otherwise, she would not be able to remain in her human form. It would be too much for her human form to handle.
Yes. Would you say that in a sense, so her consciousness here, does it travel back in a sense to the higher self and come back to union, or how does that work?
It is the higher self. It is in union. This is a process that has been ongoing for humanity for a long time, and others will get there. Others will achieve this as the vibrations continue to raise. It's like a domino effect, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this veil that separates is, the way you describe it is one way of looking at it, but it's just, it already is one.
Yes, it's really hard to explain because, yes, that's what I was seeing. Like, it becomes like whole once more. There is no separation, but it's really hard. Yeah.
It is hard. Humans can't fully understand this, so there's many different ways to try to explain it, but in a sense, the ascension process is already complete. We're waiting to catch up. We're waiting for the people of Earth to catch up before we remove the veil that separates the consciousness of the planetary mind with the full consciousness of the higher self.
Yes.
Kimberly, because she has a sense of all of this, but finds the veil frustrating, and the patience is waiting for events to take place that allow this to occur. We understand this, and we support and love and give our sympathy, love, support for this difficult. It was easier to be fully human with the veil fully in place, put it that way.
Would you say that, in a sense, if we knew everything, we would break down and fall apart?
I don't, it depends on the person. Some people might. It's with Kimberly's conscience, it's just not time yet.
Yes. Very good. So, okay, so this is what go ahead.
It would make it more of a trial to live an everyday life.
So this is what I was being shown, basically. I'm going to try to explain it. So we fall asleep, and our spirit, our human consciousness, the fractal that is here, kind of leaves, in a sense, the vessel, and then it goes back where it's one, even though we're already the higher self, but it almost like it joins back, and it continues. Am I explaining that right?
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
We see it as a piece of that consciousness that it's always protected in like a cocoon or a bubble from its full identity as its higher self origin, and it's for its own ability to function in a human body.
Yes. Very good. Thank you for that explanation.